Jason Lloyd is here to tell us LeBron is coming back. We're just
We
putting
have
it
the
out
best
there.
person to have on the show. I think.
I don't know about that. Maybe 10 years ago. I don't know about now.
Well, I mean, you're still buddies with the guys that are in the know.
I don't talk to them.
Did you have a good?
I'm sitting here glazing you up, and you don't want to
Take that layup.
take it.
Take your layup. Finish strong.
Yeah, but then I got to deliver. I had people blowing up my phone yesterday. Like, is he coming? I'm like, man, I ain't talked to him in 10 years. You think I know what the man's doing? I have no idea what the man's doing.
Do you have a better sense? All right, when the first time he returned, did you think he was coming back then? And what percentage chance did you think it was?
What's funny is the lead up to him coming back, I absolutely thought he was coming back. The Cavs convinced me he wasn't. People within the Cavs were convinced he wasn't coming back. And they're like, man, he ain't coming here. He's not coming. You need to stop. He's not coming. So then I was like, all right, I guess he's not coming. And then he came back.
So now, McNuggets, we got to throw the reversal in there. Like, what do we do now? Because you're the reverse jinx guy. You're like, either all of us got to agree or we don't agree. What's the thing?
I think we all have to agree that he's going to sign with Golden State to end up getting him here. But we're going to start
all right
with the LeBron James decision. We're going to catch everyone up real quick, and then we'll dive into what it means. But yesterday we got news that LeBron officially was leaving LA, would play his 24th season elsewhere after spending 8 seasons in Los Angeles. Then we started to get some trickles of reports out of what LeBron wants. The first one was happiness. According to Brian Windhorst, money is not the top priority. It was his own happiness. Dave McMenamin
He sure looks happy at Portage Country Club these days.
That is true.
Just
Dave McMenamin reported that he wants to play meaningful basketball, meaningful competitive basketball. We also then learned from Joe Vardon, Jason's coworker at The Athletic, that James Harden is willing to give some Cavs some financial flexibility by waiting to re-sign his deal, maybe taking a little less money in order to facilitate a LeBron James reunion in Cleveland. We also heard that the Cavs are at least taking phone calls and making phone calls on possibly trading Max Strus and Dennis Schroder in order to open up some other moves. While all this is happening, the Cavs lost Dean Wade in free agency last night to Philadelphia, a 4-year, $39 million deal for Dean Wade. Keon Ellis, their other free agent, signed a 2-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets, so those guys are out. So I say all of that. I give you guys all that context to basically ask this question. The Cavs' entire offseason now hinges on LeBron James's free agency decision. Is that the right way to approach the offseason, Jason? Or is that too dangerous of an approach in your mind for these Cleveland Cavaliers?
I don't know what other option there was other than Evan for Jalen. Like, we can have that conversation if you want. But outside of that, I don't know what other huge move there was to make. So I think that it was always going to come down to this. And we talked about it before on the show. I don't think both of those moves is wise. I think it's one or the other. I think it's either the move for Jalen or the move for LeBron. I think if you put Jalen with LeBron, with Don, with James, there's not a lot of defense being played out of those 4. So, we'll wait and see how the rest of this goes. Do you want me to get into the LeBron stuff, or are we going to do that later? Just like his side of it?
Let's do it all. We're talking LeBron. We're going to talk a lot
Don't
of LeBron
hold back,
today.
dude. Let's get into the meat and potatoes right now.
I mean, because he might say something later on today, and it might be all for naught.
Yeah, I mean, I said before the show, if you lay out everything that was said yesterday in the report, and again, like, I haven't been around the guy in almost 10 years. Like, I'm not, that's not my orbit anymore. But just knowing how he operates, knowing how he thinks, knowing what was said yesterday, knowing where it came from without names being attached to it. I've played this game long enough. I know where the information's coming from. If it's about winning and it's not about money, I don't know how it's not Cleveland, because Golden State ain't going to win. They ain't winning next year. Now, when you add the happiness component, whatever that means, we've talked about it previously. I know how much he reveres Steph and how much he admires what Golden State has built and loves that organization and just respects them for the way that they've operated all of these years. And if part of him wants to say, yeah, I want to go play that for a year, he doesn't really care what anyone else thinks in terms of you're tarnishing your legacy. He didn't look at it that way. I believe LeBron, once they won the championship in 2016, he felt like, I'm good. I don't have to listen to anybody else. He felt the pressure when he went to Miami. He felt the pressure of, I have to win, I have to win. He had no idea how to win. He was an 18-year-old kid. And then he came to an organization that didn't really do a whole lot in terms of supporting him and showing him how to win. He had to go to Miami to learn how to win. He felt that pressure. He had to win. Okay, he won. Well, now I have unfinished business in Cleveland. I got to go home. I got to fix that at home. I talked to Pat Riley a year or two ago, and we talked about all that. And Pat told me, I always knew he was going to go back to Cleveland. It just happened a lot sooner. I didn't think it would only be after 4 years. But that's home. He had to go home and fix that. So he felt that pressure of, I have to go home. And so once he did that, I'm good. I can do what I want. And that was why he went to LA. A big part of that was, I want to play for the Lakers. Like, they're one of the most historic franchises in the history of the league. I want to live in the sunshine. I lived in Cleveland my whole life. I want to live in, except for Miami, I want to live in the sun again, and I want to play for the Lakers. So he did. And now I think he's looking at this like, I like Steph. I love what the Warriors have built. I want to go play for the Warriors. If that's the route that he chooses, I hold no ill will toward him for that. I know some Cavs fans are going to be upset. I know there's a lot of people who feel like he's going to tarnish whatever legacy. I think that's ridiculous. However, he spends the last year or two of his career. Did Michael Jordan tarnish his legacy by playing with the Wizards? No. Did it look weird? Yeah,
No, but
it
he
looked
didn't join
weird.
Magic Johnson or Larry Bird.
In terms of what?
I mean, like Steph Curry is somebody who beat his ass for years in the finals, and I think at the end of the day, you can say, well, it's just 1 year or 2 years. It doesn't, like, the people that love to go with Kobe or Jordan or whoever, whatever history you want to go with, will use it as an argument against LeBron James. And say what you want about it. I do think LeBron cares about that stuff, and it would not look great, even though end of their careers they team up together. I don't think it's a good look for LeBron.
Steph got 4.
He has 4.
Yeah.
Steph has
Steph's
4.
got 4.
rings.
Steph's got
Yes.
4.
So how many LeBron got? 4?
4.
If you count the bubble one.
Ooh. Dustin, that's a good point right there. I was not thinking about that. I wasn't.
The only thing I'll say about the bubble, I know a lot of people who lived that bubble. They said that absolutely counts. To put an asterisk on it is ridiculous. It was harder than any other championship you would win.
I'll give him. I'm not.
And like, I can only go off of the people who were there. And the people who lived that bubble every day said
Hard
it was
why? Because
grueling.
it was a shortened season and LeBron got tons of rest?
Well,
Or hard because of COVID?
hard because of COVID
dealing with
and
testing
being
and stuff?
trapped in the
Yeah.
hotel
Yeah.
and all that.
Right.
That it was, people who lived it said it was grueling. Excuse me, on mental health and all that. Like, it was tough. So I will take them at their word, and I do not put an asterisk on the bubble.
I never thought about it like that. I think, to me, until you just said that, I look at it and I'm like, okay, with LeBron's legacy is pretty much cemented. And then for me, I thought after he won the ring in LA and people didn't celebrate it the way I think he thought they would.
Yes.
I think that LeBron really felt like, hey, I won a championship for the Lakers. People in LA would view me. I don't think he ever thought he was going to be Magic or Kareem or Shaq even. But he think, okay, well, maybe it's Kobe and Jerry West, and I'm somewhere in there. And I just don't feel like he felt like they embraced him out there. It never felt like it was like a thing where it was like, hey, you're one of us. He looked at it like almost an outsider. And I think I watched his face when he broke the all-time scoring record. And it was kind of like, there was part of him, I felt like, if I looked at it, the situation that would think of and say, he's probably sitting there thinking, if I was at home, if I was in Cleveland, what would it be like? Would they celebrate me that way? And I think it was a little anticlimactic. And I think that now, and the thing that he's seeing is he has 4 rings. Steph has 4. They already is killing KD for going to get his 2 rings with Steph.
Yeah.
They already discounted them. Now, LeBron goes back there. Now, I wouldn't look at it different, but it's a lot of naysayers that would. I look at Cleveland, and I look at the opportunity, and Rich Paul said something that we were looking at in that quote, and I didn't think they were at this point anymore. He said he wants to play meaningful basketball games. He wants to compete for a championship. He wants to still compete. I didn't know, because I asked you about a year ago, is he just in regular pack it up mode, or is he ready to get? Because I don't that LeBron, the crazy look LeBron competing.
So I thought it's interesting when you go that route, because his last year in Cleveland, I'm sorry, his second to last year in Cleveland, after he won the championship, we were in New Orleans. I think I've told this story before. We were in New Orleans after a game, and They lost. They should never have lost the game. They lost. And me and Joe and Dave were there. Joe Vardon and Dave McMenamin and myself, obviously, were the beat writers at the time. And LeBron does a scrum, and everyone sort of dissipates, and he looks at three of us and goes, "Hey, come here. Write this." And we were like, okay. And he burned them to the ground. Said he didn't think that they cared about winning as much as now that they had won championship, just burned the franchise to the ground. And at the end, when it was over, he was like fixing his tie or fixing his shirt in the mirror, and he was talking to us, but we were just having informed. And he said it would be different if I wasn't still in championship mode, but I'm still playing this game at a high level. That was 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought he had lost some of that in LA.
I did too.
I did think that he was happy living the LA life, sort of making commercials,
Mm-hmm.
getting wrapped up in Hollywood, and it just felt like he was content to play out his career chipping and putting in LA. So I am a little bit surprised at this little bit of a turn of like he wants to play meaningful basketball and he wants to compete for a championship at age 42. Because but again, like we all change. How you felt 5 years ago, is that how you feel now? Is that who you are now? No, everybody changes and evolves in priorities. And I think he's probably surprised himself that he's still playing at this level. And what he did in beating the Rockets by himself, basically, in the first round. And I think he does think, like, maybe there is another run in here. Maybe I can get one more. So, and I think that's a big part of the reason why he chose to leave LA, is I think he's looking for an opportunity to win. And again, if he's looking for an opportunity to win, I think it sets up better here. Realistic, like, could he go join OKC on a minimum? Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do that.
Right.
But if you look at all the logical, reasonable options in front of him, to me, it's two. It's Golden State or Cleveland. That's it. I guess Miami. You can make the case.
Can I throw
to
one
go back to
more
Miami.
mystery team in there, Jason?
Sure.
If you're taking him at his word that winning is what he wants, San Antonio has one veteran minimum spot left and a desperate need of a veteran leader on that team. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. And
I don't think it's going to
That's a
happen.
good option.
I just want to throw one other team into the mix as if you take LeBron at his word, what
See-
fits that criteria?
See, I don't look. That to me would that sits less well with me than.
Oh, so
Golden
you gonna
State
play
does.
with Wemby?
Right.
You gonna go? You just gonna play with
You're gonna
Wemby?
go ring chase at a place where you have no ties, no nothing. Like at least Golden State, he has his peers of Steph and Draymond and an organization that he's admired. And I don't think they're gonna win. I don't think a team will win anything. I think that's just 1 year of doing something he's always wanted to do, because I know how much respect he's had for that organization.
Let me ask you a question, Jason. You think he's playing just one more year?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Not necessarily.
Like when he signs this deal, is it going to be a 1 year? Is it going to be a 2?
I need
I
that
don't
too.
know. It could be.
I
it
need
could
that
be,
too, Dustin.
It could be 1 year with a player option. It
Yep.
could easily
Okay.
be that. I don't think he knows. Like again, I think he's sort of surprised him. And I haven't had this conversation with him. I don't know. But I think he's surprised himself that he's still playing at the level that he's
I
playing
mean,
at this
you
stage.
watch that Rocket series. He was the best player on the
Yeah.
court for both
Yeah.
teams.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't need him for 82. You need him for 16.
Yeah.
You need him
mean,
for the
he's
16.
only
in
going to
April,
play
May, and
like
June.
18, 20 minutes a night.
Yeah, and again, maybe he's changed. I know the guy that I covered would not want to just play 30 or 40 games during the regular season, like do every other game or anything. Like, I don't think now maybe at this stage he feels differently, because how many times have I sat here and said he ain't playing for the minimum? Maybe he is going to play for the minimum now.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the guy that I knew would never come back to Cleveland and play for Dan for the minimum. That was a non-starter.
The thing I believe that is most needed, I tweeted this earlier. I said, man, nobody needs him more in the locker room or appreciates him more than in Cleveland. And we talk about so much about Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. We look at James Harden, even Donovan Mitchell. The thing that each one of those people are missing, and they're great players in their own right, is this.
Yeah.
It's the mentality.
Yeah.
It's this. He's been there before when it was a young Tristan Thompson. He's been there before when they knew they had Kevin Love and he told him to fit in or fit out, right? And he came around. Jared Allen is a guy that sometimes, saying the bright lights is too bright. And more than anything, it's Donovan Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell was a nice guy. James Harden is a little aloof. The spirit that they need is right there. When they lose games that they ain't supposed to lose, he gonna be on them. he gonna tell him, and he's actually been there before.
Yeah, Tristan told me a couple years ago, Tristan's last year in Cleveland, I think, we were having this conversation. And he said, when Bron came back, he basically told me and Kyrie and Dion and everybody else, sit down and shut up. Do what I tell you to do, and we will win. And they did. For the most part, they did.
Yeah.
And this is a different version of that because that was a really, really young team that he came back to. And I go back to, they had an early West Coast trip his first year back. And we were in Portland.
I remember that game.
You remember? And
Utah.
It was Portland and Utah in a back-to-back. Kyrie had no assists in Utah.
Yeah, I remember that game.
But prior to that, in Portland, Dion and Kyrie just dribbled themselves silly, and LeBron refused to participate. He stood in the corner, basically with his arms folded, and just let them play how they wanted to play. And I remember post-game, he said, there's a lot of bad habits. We got to get up out of here. Like, that is not playing winning basketball. Now, this is different because obviously Harden is almost as old as LeBron. Donovan's an older vet. So I don't think he would treat them the same as he did those young guys. But the reality is these guys haven't won anything. None of these guys here have won anything. So, what's Donovan accomplished? What's James accomplished? So they do need that. And it's part of what we're talking about. The Cavs went out and got Donovan, and Donovan was exactly what they needed. And they needed a veteran to sort of show them how to be a professional and guide the locker room. And Donovan was everything that they needed him to be. Yet they hired a Sherpa who had never been up the mountain to take them up the mountain. Donovan's never won either. So it would make a ton of sense, obviously, for LeBron to come in and do it. Now, is it going to happen?
And I
have no idea.
And I think the personalities match. If you look at Kyrie Irving, he was a much more volatile player, right? Much more of an enigma, so to speak. Donovan Mitchell is straightforward, right?
Yeah.
If you can't get through to Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell understands how to play the game because he did it with Darius Garland. He was able to do it with James Harden. James Harden is at a point in his career where this is his last shot. If you want James Harden, if you want to win a ring and you want to actually put your legacy up, this is it. And I'll tell you this, McNuggets, we talked about unlocking Evan Mobley. Michael Jordan did a couple of things when he was in the league. Guys like Horace Grant, he rode him to death.
Yeah.
Guys, guys like he infamously said, hey, let Dennis Rodman go out and do whatever he needs to do. He was playing Jedi mind tricks with these dudes. Kobe used to do the same thing. If you put Evan Mobley with LeBron James, I'm telling you, he will get the best out of Evan Mobley because he's not.
Oh, for sure.
He's gonna have him. He might even tell him to move in, just to be like, yo, you sleeping on the bunk beds, dog. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. I think the personalities actually match up, and I think the problem is, and not even a problem. I just think that they're gonna have to recruit because, like you said, LeBron wants to be wanted. And that is the big key, Dustin. He wants to be valued.
Well, and the one thing Jason said, and this is so true, is like you said in 2017, like that LeBron is a lot different than who he is now, and these decisions and these conversations he's having about playing for the minimum for Dan. Like I think that as he matures and we all mature, like I'm such a different person than I was like 2-3 years ago. Imagine like where he is now at 41 years old. I mean, the guy is like out there on the golf course with a gray beard. He looks like a grandpa. It's hilarious. Remember like back when they used to do those skits, Nike had those commercials and he was like the old guy.
Yep.
That's how he looks now. And so the point is like, maturity definitely changes perspective. And, it was always about the money. He'd never play for the minimum or the mid-level or whatever, we talked about the veteran minimum. Like, I think those days are gone, and his now mentality is like, all right, the happiness, I totally get that. He got Bronny paid. He's already played with Bronny. Like, what more do you want to do? I mean, you come back to Cleveland, if it's a year, if it's 2 years, whatever it may be, like every single night, you're going to get the love.
And
the shirt right here.
Rocking.
You're going to get the love.
Dustin
every
going
night.
to 25. Dustin already go to 40 games a year. Dustin already go to 40. LeBron come back. He might listen. You pre-gaming for that.
I said to Bull yesterday. I mean, we have a half season, so we get 21 games, right? Of the home games, and I probably go to like a dozen, just because if they're playing like the Wizards on a Tuesday night, I'm probably not going.
Yeah.
We'll put them on SeatGeek. You know what I mean? We sell them. But I'll go to every game now. You
Sure.
know, if I'm in town.
Yeah.
Man, shoot.
I don't think I'm talking out of school by saying this. When the Lakers came back this year in January, it was funny because we were in the visiting locker room and I told Mike, I'm like, stick around, I'll introduce you to LeBron. And he chose to go do other things. So he missed out on the opportunity.
I
So
had to work.
whatever.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
that's-
know what?
Listen, in hindsight, I messed up.
Yeah.
I admit I messed up, but
Yeah,
it wasn't
you
like I
did.
just went on to dilly dally.
You tripped.
I went to work.
By the way, Jason's going back to the beat if LeBron comes
Oh
back.
no, that is not happening.
Listen, he gonna be the UCSS beat reporter. They
Oh
gonna-
no, that is not happening.
You gracefully bowed out. You done with that?
I'm done. My beat days are over. But about 7 or 8 minutes after Mike left the locker room, LeBron came in, and Joe and I were joking with him about. It was January. I think it was cold, and snowy or something. And we joked with him about the weather. And LeBron said, "I'd love to come back to visit." And we were talking. I said yesterday we were talking about golf, and we talked to him for probably 15, 20 minutes, and 12 to 18 of the minutes were spent talking about golf and his like addiction to the game now and how much he
Yeah.
loves it, and he wanted to play Firestone this summer and all that stuff. And then we get to the game, and obviously he gets really emotional watching the video and the tribute to him and everything. And then after the game, he was getting dressed, and I said, "Hey, I'm not looking for a quote." He's like, "Then get out of here. Then go. Like, I'll talk to you out there. I'll talk to you out there." And I said, "I just want to tell you what I'm going to write." He goes, "What? What are you going to write?" And I said, "I'm going to write that I miss you, and I think you should come home." And he was putting his lotion on his hands, forearms. He goes, "Man, we'll see. We'll see." And
I like that energy. I love it.
I like that energy too.
I like that energy. I'm feeling good. I was nervous coming in here. I'm like, man, we ain't about to get him. We ain't gonna get nobody.
and like he was just saying anything to get me to shut up and go away. But it was funny. Like it was a fun little interaction. And now I guess we'll see. It's July 1st. I guess we'll see.